How's it going, everybody? I'm Lewis, it's December, and we've got a new month ahead post from the Old School RuneScape team. This one, I'd just like to mention, is hosted on the main Old School RuneScape website. Usually they're hosted on the forums, which I suppose is great for if you want information and feedback from the community. However, I do prefer the layout of the proper Old School RuneScape website. I think it's probably because it makes me feel a little bit more nostalgic. Let's get straight into this month by having a look at the Raids development update. Their work on Raids is approaching the final touches, and they'll be launching it at the start of January, so they're just polishing off the bosses, tweaking some of the rooms, and doing a lot of balancing during the testing phases they've got. They've previewed a couple of different bosses like Tekon and Olm, and the most recent preview is for Vasta Nistririo. Here we can see a little bit of backstory about this deranged ex-priest, and we can see what sort of graphic this ex-priest is going to have. Looking at this graphic, it does feel quite strange, somewhat world away from our regular Old School RuneScape. But it does look quite cool, and it could be quite fun, so I'm not going to shun it too quickly. As well as that, later on this month, they'll be getting ready for the Raids load test. This is essentially just a test to check that the servers and the group finding system that they've created will actually be able to run for the amount of players they want it to. You know, it's very hard for them to test what a raid's going to be like with 30, 40 people in, because there's only, 10, 15 people on the Old School RuneScape team. As well as that, they don't know what all of us players are going to do. Maybe we're going to be doing some weird things that they can't quite account for if they did only test it in-house. These load tests won't actually be the full dungeons. However, they'll show us the environments we'll get to explore, and there'll be a couple of features that we might get to test out. But they seem a bit secretive on that, although I feel that they've implied that there will be at least one large bit of content we'll be able to play there. But obviously, with this test, they don't want to spoil all the content before it even gets a chance to come out in January. Next this month, we've got the Tournament World. And this is something they do every so often. They release a world and say, look, this is for PvP, risk-free PvP that everyone can enjoy. Everyone will start off with max accounts and will have access to the tournament supply chests. This will give you the ability to basically pick up your perfect set of armor, set of weapons, and go and practice them. If you're interested in PvP, then this is something that you definitely want to be looking out for. However, it's only going to be available when they're load testing raids, so make sure if you want to try this out, you get your time in when you can. Moving on to the Deadman Winter Invitational, which should hopefully be one of the most electrifying seasonal events we've had so far. This winter, the Deadman Invitational is being hosted at the ESL Live Studio. Once again, culminating in a lethal showdown for a grand prize of $10,000. Over the course of the 5 days, the top 2,000 players from the most recent Deadman season, which was the one that only lasted for about a month, will get to build up accounts in a brand new Deadman environment. After the 5 days finish, fog will descend on the world in the final hour. This fog will kill every player in its path, and respawning will be disabled. Every Deadman will be forced into a small area, and with $10,000 going to the last Deadman alive, they'll be forced to fight. Especially considering if there are two Deadmen that die at the same time. Right at the end, the player with the highest kill count will win. The final hour will be live streamed from the RuneScape Twitch channel on Saturday, the 17th of December. So don't miss out on any of that action. As well as that, I'm sure that plenty of the Old School RuneScape live streamers will be streaming things from this Deadman Seasonal Invitational. As well as that, like I touched upon before, this will be hosted at the ESL Live Studio, where they're actually going to have the Old School RuneScape team there, and many Old School RuneScape players who are participating in the Deadman Invitational. As well as that, they'll also have a couple of shoutcasters for the event. Historically, Ian Span has been in all of them. They had Boaty on the first one, and they've had Skill Specs on the last two. Either way, it's likely to be a streamer that you've heard of, because there is a particular group of streamers that Jagex seem to quite like and invite to plenty of streams. I suppose they are just the most popular streamers. And with it being hosted in Britain, it's a lot easier to get a British streamer in to host the event than an American, Australian, whatever. If you are one of the top 2,000 Deadman players that are going to be participating in this invitational, good luck to you. I hope that you do well, and don't die immediately. Finally, this month we've got Christmas 2016, where we'll be heading to Mount Quidamorton for a festive tale. As always, I'm hoping this will be a very interesting event to play through. I was really impressed with the latest Halloween event, so I'm hoping that this Christmas event will be great. As always, there will be allowing players to get the previous year's rewards after completing this year's event. And, as usual, they will be hosting community events where the JMods and certain famous streamers will get the holiday spawner where they can drop party hats, Santa hats, crackers and stuff. Just to basically encourage players to run around, meet each other and have fun in Old School RuneScape. Which, to me, sounds incredibly fun. What's the thing that you're most looking forward to this month? Let me know in my comments below. If you want to watch my video on the latest Old School RuneScape update, please click here for quality of life and bug fixes. And if you want to watch my video on the update before that, please click here for the Great Karen rework. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, stat box and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.